Buongiorno everyone, Clams Mahoney here, your source for SoCal fun and excitement, and in today's exploration is the Autry Museum of the American West. Want to find out about cowboys and Indians and the West? Well, let's go inside and see what we can find. And this is a statue of the man that the museum is named after, Gene Autry. So as we walk in, they have this display of cowboys and horses, different bronze statues, and I feel like they might be telling a story. So first we have this guy. He's a rough and tumble cowboy. He's lassoing up. He's gonna hook this guy, who's for some reason up on a cliff. I don't know why he's up there, but he's like, hey everyone, look how far up I got. Then we've got this guy who's straight just showing off. I mean, look how his horse is only standing on one leg, which leads to this guy who's just not impressed at all. He's like, Robert, I told you not to show off. You're just showing off for the ladies. Which leads to this guy who's eyeballing this guy's horse. He's like, that's a mighty fine horse you've got there. How much would you take for it, sir? Because I'd like to purchase it. Toward the end of the 19th century, nostalgia for the perceived closure of the western frontier gave rise to the cowboy as a mythic icon of American culture. And this guy's just lost. He's wondering which way. He's like, you wrote down where we parked, right? So this photo is called the Tom Tom Maker. But what strikes me more is, look at this. This guy's wearing the Native American version of Air Jordans. So this is called Old Chief's Inquiry. And you can see this guy in the front is holding what I'm sure is a smoke stick. But I'm going to pretend it's a paintbrush. Guys, what do you think of my drawing? I think it's a pretty good representation of our people, don't you think? I don't know, Charlie. Do you really think that looks like our people? I mean, we don't have 4 arms. Just let him do it. You know, if we say anything, he's gonna throw a fit. We're gonna be here for hours. But I like his expression, like he's so nervous about someone coming in and finding him. I hope Charlie doesn't come in here and ask me about his painting and if it's a good representation of our people. Because I hate lying to him. Because otherwise he's gonna throw a fit and talk to me about it for hours. So this photo is called On the Border, and I like to imagine that these two are waiting on their friend who they sent out to get takeout, like Taco Bell or something. And this guy in the middle's like, oh man, I hope he comes back soon. I really want my Crunchwrap Supreme. This is called In the Silence of Dusk, They Begin to Shed Their Skin. Doesn't that sound like a horror movie? In the silence of dusk, they come at night. They shed their skin and wear the skin of their victims. This is called An Indian War Party, and I would be more scared of this if this guy didn't look like someone just said something really nasty to him as he rode by, and he's like, what a rude thing to say. I'm going off to war and you have to say that to me. This is called Grandfather's Son Has Found Us. I think more of the smell of bacon has found this guy. Look at him. He's like, bacon. The legendary recording artist and movie star whose career spanned some 60 years in the entertainment industry. Gene appeared in 93 feature films, made 635 recordings, and more than 300 of which he wrote or co-wrote. He became known as America's Favorite Cowboy. The cowboy is a patriot, Gene Autry, and World War II. July 2017 marks the 75th anniversary of Gene Autry's enlistment in the U.S. military during World War II. Before the war began, Autry was the iconic singing cowboy, entertaining millions through radio, records, film, and in-person performances. In 1942, he enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Corps, risking his life, sacrificing career opportunities, and lifting morale to his fellow Americans. And here we have Gene Autry's military uniform. There are his boots. There's a record. He underwent flight training, so there's his helmet, goggles, and here's some of his more fancy cowboy duds. There's his hat. There's his boots. And finally, here's his shirt. Doesn't this shirt look like what Marty McFly wore in Back to the Future Part 3? Now, to put in a little bit of context for you guys, I love westerns. I love western culture, cowboys, Indians, the American West. I love all that stuff. I'm very fascinated by that time in history, and especially western films. I love western films. So this next section, past the World War II stuff, is pretty cool because it's about westerns. So here we've got a Wild Bill outfit from the movie Wild Bill, the Three Amigos hat and gun belt. Very odd choice for a western, but that's Brokeback Mountain. This is from Tom Horn. This is from what's considered one of the greatest westerns. Look, this is a new theme. They have John Wayne's scarf, and eye patch. Look, they even have modern costumes from the Hateful Eight. They have Samuel L. Jackson's, Jennifer Jason Leigh's, and Kurt Russell's. And here's a cool one. This is I'm going backwards, but this is from 2008, and this is all the this is the westerns that have come out since then. Tombstone, that is my absolute favorite western of all time. Fistful of Dollars, that's a great one. Lone Ranger, The Outlaw. Tumbleweeds. If you're a film buff and you want to watch western movies in pure 35mm, they have this film series at the Autry. Do you guys ever wonder how they made all those sounds for westerns? Well, here's a Foley artist station where you can figure it out. So, jingling spurs, thunderous hooves, attention, attention, hooves are coming, gunfights, slamming doors, and spectacular crashes. So what we're seeing here is a recreation of a child's bedroom from the 50s and 60s. Do you think the parents are mad that this kid is jumping on the bed? I would be. Also, look how tiny that bed is. Jeez. Oh man, I'm all over this like chocolate over a Turkish delight. This is gonna be fun. Alright, it says just push the button on the saddle and we're ready to go. Let's see. Yeah! Whoa, 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 marching in unison. Here's a poster and outfit from the Cisco Kid, Satan's Cradle. Passes. Look how happy this guy is that he's gonna shoot him. He's like, oh, hands up, buddy, after you get a smooch. This is a film called Custer's Last Fight, which came out in 1925. If the name of the poster wasn't enough, check out how unsure General Custer is about what's happening. He's like, guys, are you sure this is gonna be my last ride? And look at Sitting Bull, he's totally sure. He's like, yep, you're going down, buddy. Here's some costumes worn by Rex Allen. He was the Hawaiian cowboy. And over here we have a costume and a guitar and other tidbits used by Eddie Dean. He was considered the golden cowboy. So here we have outfits worn from 3 different Western style TV shows. This is the classic Lone Ranger outfit. Then here we have Gunsmoke. And finally we have the man himself in his costume, Chuck Norris. Look at how on his mannequin, even his mannequin has his beard. Lord, I'm sure there's a Chuck Norris joke in there somewhere. Like if Chuck Norris's mannequin doesn't get a beard, it grows one itself. Gene Autry, America's favorite singing cowboy. The singing cowboy was one of the most important cultural figures to emerge out of the Great Depression. Ordinary Americans faced with a bleak and uncertain future took comfort in wholesome, heroic cowboys who expressed their emotion through song. So this is a display of Gene Autry and his accomplishments. There's the reins for his horse Champion. There's his outfit and his guitar. There's some radios. But this is the most important. This is what he's most famous for. He wrote Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and he wrote the song Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Those are his most famous songs. So this is called Beatley's Half-Dime Library, and I'm assuming these are like heroes of dime store novels. Look, they have Texas Jack a Millionaire, Buffalo Ben, Old Avalanche, Deadwood Dick Decoyed, Antelope Abe, Dead-Eyed the Unknown Scout, The Dumb Spy. Well, that's kind of a mean label. Deadwood Dick's Escape, The Girl Deadshot, Ned Hazel, and Deadwood Dick. I had a fun exploration of the Autry History Museum of the American West today, and I hope you guys did too. Well, Gene, it was a fun day today. It's time for you to get back in the saddle, and it's time for me to get back into my car, and both of us are going to ride off into the sunset. My favorite part was seeing all the cowboy stuff from movies and TV. That was really interesting. Unfortunately, once I stepped out of that, a security guard said, "You can't film here. You can take pictures with no flash, but you cannot film here." And I was like, well, that kind of defeats the point of a vlog if I can't film it, but rules are rules. If you guys want to see the pictures that I took after the movies and television cowboy section, just go to Instagram and search Clams and Mahoney. It's the same as the YouTube name. And that's where I'm going to post the pictures. And it was a lot of different stuff. It was like historical cowboys, different types of firearms that they used, what life was like back then, replicas of like towns, and there was like a saloon and like poker things, and how some people would use them to cheat. That was really interesting. Now remember, like, comment, subscribe, tell me where you want me to go next, and we'll see if we can go. Until I see you guys next time for our next exploration, for me and Gene Autry, keep it kosher.